As the last flickers of daylight slipped beneath the horizon, painting the sky in hues of lavender and gold, young Eli settled into his usual spot atop the weathered hill that overlooked the sleepy village of Eldenwood. With a heart as light as the soft evening breeze, he gazed up at the vast canvas of twinkling stars emerging one by one. To Eli, they were not mere points of light. They were old friends, whispering secrets and stories from beyond the veil of night. But this evening held a peculiar stillness, one that made the air crackle with anticipation. Eli could sense that something extraordinary was about to unfold. He took a deep breath, the scent of fresh earth mingling with the crispness of the approaching night. With each inhale, he felt the promise of wonder wrap around him like a warm, familiar cloak. As he began to speak, his voice a soft murmur mingled with the rustling leaves, a gentle chant to the stars. He noticed a new glimmer in the firmament. It pulsated and danced, unlike any star he had ever seen. Mesmerized, Eli leaned closer, his heart racing with a mix of excitement and trepidation. "Oh, radiant light," he called out. "Are you a guardian of dreams or an echo of forgotten wishes?" To his astonishment, the stars seemed to twinkle in response, brighter and faster, as if acknowledging his plea. It began to descend, trailing a luminous ribbon of shimmering stardust that coiled around Eli like a silken serpent. The boy's breath caught in his throat as the star landed softly beside him, its glow illuminating the darkness surrounding the hill. From the brilliance emerged a figure, ethereal and enchanting, adorned in robes woven from the very fabric of the cosmos. It was a being unlike any Eli had ever encountered, a celestial whisperer, as radiant as the dawn and as serene as the moonlit night. With eyes that sparkled like distant galaxies, the creature regarded Eli with a gentle smile that warmed his spirit. "Fear not, young dreamer," the whisperer spoke, its voice a melodious blend of chimes and rustling leaves. "I am Lysandra, the keeper of celestial songs. I have heard your call, your yearning for the mysteries of the universe." Eli's heart swelled with joy and awe. "Lysandra, I've dreamed of speaking with you. What secrets do the stars hold? What tales await those who listen?" With a graceful wave of her hand, Lysandra beckoned the stars to shine even brighter, illuminating the hidden corners of the night. Each star is a story, a fragment of forgotten lore. They whisper of love, loss, bravery, and the relentless pursuit of dreams. Tonight, I shall share with you the tale of a lost star, one that fell from grace, yearning to return. As she spoke, the air shimmered around them, and Eli found himself enveloped in a wondrous vision. He saw a world beyond his own, a majestic kingdom where the stars danced above a castle of silver and crystal. But beneath its splendor lay shadows, for a great darkness threatened to consume it. In this world lived a brave girl named Lyra, whose laughter could ignite hope in the hearts of the weary. However, one fateful night, a jealous sorceress cast a spell, imprisoning Lyra's spirit within the very star she admired from afar. This star, once gleaming at the edge of the universe, dimmed, yearning to break free and reunite with its beloved. Eli felt his heart ache for Lyra, her bright spirit trapped in a cold and distant place. "How can she be saved?" he implored, the weight of her plight resting heavily on his young shoulders. "Only the purest of hearts can light." "The way," Lysandra responded, her gaze steady upon him. "A hero must rise, willing to journey into darkness, armed with the power of love and sacrifice." As the tale unfolded, Eli realized that the journey of Lyra mirrored his own desires. If he could find the courage within himself, perhaps he could help her reclaim her light. The weight of destiny began to settle upon him, and with it, the thrill of adventure ignited in his spirit. "Will you help me, Lysandra?" Eli asked, his voice steady with newfound resolve. "I will find a way to bring Lyra back." The celestial whisperer's eyes sparkled with pride. "Together, we shall weave a path through the stars. But know this, dear Eli, the journey will test the very fabric of your heart. Are you prepared for the challenges that lie ahead?" Eli nodded, determination radiating from him like the stars above. It was no longer just about dreams, but the call of duty that stirred within him. And so, under the watchful gaze of the cosmos, he took his first step into the unknown, ready to embrace the adventure that awaited. The night unfolded its mysteries, and with each heartbeat, Eli felt the magic of the universe guiding him along a path unseen. With a flick of her wrist, Lysandra summoned forth a shimmering portal, a whirlpool of light and color that shimmered against the midnight sky. The hues swirled like paint upon a canvas, illuminating the dense forest surrounding them. Eli's breath caught in his throat as he peered into the depths of the ethereal gateway, a pathway to the kingdom where the stars danced in celebration and despair alike. "Step through, brave one," Lysandra urged, her voice a melodic harmony that calmed his racing heart. "The realms beyond hold secrets and trials that only you can face. Trust in the warmth of love that flickers like a candle, or it will guide your steps." Eli felt the warmth of her words wrap around him like a comforting cloak, shielding him from his fears. He reached for the portal, the air crackling with anticipation as he felt the fabric of reality shift beneath his fingertips. Summoning every ounce of courage, he stepped forward, leaving behind the familiar embrace of the forest. The moment he crossed the threshold, the air changed, becoming filled with a soft, sweet fragrance, the scent of wildflowers and moonlit dew. Eli found himself standing in a vast meadow, illuminated by a myriad of stars that felt achingly close, each twinkling light whispering tales of hope and sorrow. As he gazed up, he could almost hear Lyra's laughter weaving through the gentle breeze, dancing in and out among the constellations. "Eli, welcome," a melodic voice called out, drawing his attention. A group of luminous beings floated gracefully above the ground, their forms woven of light and shadow, with wings that sparkled like diamonds. They were the Star Guardians, protectors of the night sky, shimmering in their ethereal beauty. Each guardian's eyes glimmered, with knowledge older than time as they descended to meet him. "We have awaited your arrival, young dreamer," one of them spoke, his voice soft yet commanding. "The sorceress's curse holds Lyra captive, and to break it, you must listen to the star's tale of sorrow." "What must I do?" Eli asked, his heart pounding against his ribcage, an insistent drum calling him to action. "Seek the Lumina Stone," another guardian replied, her voice like a gentle brook. "It is hidden within the Cavern of Echoes, guarded by the Sentinels of Shadows. Only with its light can you illuminate the path to Lyra's spirit. Beware," a third guardian warned, her silver locks cascading like waterfalls. "The Sentinels test the very essence of one's heart. You must tread carefully, for the shadows will seek to ensnare you with doubt and fear." Eli nodded, feeling a mixture of trepidation and excitement. The stars above blazed with encouragement, as if they were rallying behind him, igniting a fire within his soul. He took a deep breath, grounding himself in the purpose that had brought him here, the love that bound him to Lyra. As the Star Guardians pointed in unison toward a distant mountain shrouded in mist, he felt a surge of determination. "Thank you for guiding me," he said, his voice steady. "I will find the Lumina Stone and bring Lyra back." With that promise echoing in the air, he began his journey toward the mountain, each step resonating with the pulse of the cosmos. The moonlight bathed him in a silvery glow, and as he ventured deeper into the enchanted realm, the whispers of the stars accompanied him, weaving together the threads of fate that tied him to Lyra. But as he approached the base of the mountain, a sudden chill swept through the air, encasing him in an icy grip. Shadows danced at the periphery of his vision, lurking just beyond the illumination of the moon. Eli halted, heart racing, as he felt the weight of unseen eyes upon him. He remembered the Guardian's warning, and in that moment of stillness, he closed his eyes, letting the warmth of his love for Lyra fill him like a beacon of light. "Show yourself!" he called into the darkness, his voice echoing against the stone walls. "I am not afraid!" A low rumble erupted from the shadows, laughter mingled with malice. "Ah, the little dreamer dares to summon the shadows! Foolish child, you are trapped in a web of your own making. What makes you think your heart can withstand the trials ahead?" Eli opened his eyes, meeting the encroaching darkness with unwavering resolve. "I do not walk this path alone," he declared, his voice ringing with conviction. "I carry love with me, and it is stronger than any curse or shadow." With those words, the shadows recoiled, hesitant in the face of his unwavering spirit. But as they retreated, the challenge had only just begun. The mountain loomed before him, its caverns waiting to test the very strength of his heart, while the stars above twinkled with anticipation, knowing that the true adventure was only beginning. The darkness shifted, revealing an intricate network of tunnels carved by time and magic. Eli peered into the depths, feeling both trepidation and excitement swirl within him. Every heartbeat echoed against the stone, a reminder that he was not merely the boy who spoke to stars anymore. He was now a seeker of the luminous stone, a harbinger of hope for Lyra. With a deep breath, he stepped forward, the ground crunching beneath his feet, like whispers of secrets, long forgotten. Faint glimmers of light flickered along the cavern walls, illuminating ancient runes that pulsed with a rhythm of their own. As Eli traced his fingers over the inscriptions, he felt a warmth radiate from them, as though they were alive, waiting for him to unlock their meaning. Words of power, a voice echoed softly, threading through the air. Eli turned, abruptly, startled to find a small figure perched on a rock ledge. It was a sprite, her wings shimmering like morning dew, her eyes bright with mischief and wisdom. You seek the luminous stone, do you not? Many have come, yet few have passed the trials of the Mountain Keeper. Trials? Eli asked, a knot of apprehension tightening in his chest. What do you know of them? The sprite fluttered closer, her laughter like the tinkling of silver bells. Oh, young dreamer, the path to love is often paved with challenges. Courage will be your compass, but the heart's true desires may lead you astray. Are you prepared to face your greatest fears? Eli squared his shoulders, channeling his resolve. I will face whatever it takes, he declared, remembering Lyra's laughter and the warmth of her hand in his. I cannot let fear dictate my path. The sprite nodded, her expression shifting to one of admiration and a hint of concern. Very well then, follow me, but tread lightly. The keeper watches, and only those who prove their worth may continue. With a flick of her wrist, the sprite created a trail of sparkling lights that danced before Eli, beckoning him deeper into the labyrinthine caves. They ventured further, the air thick with an otherworldly energy, and Eli felt a pulse beneath his feet, as though the very heart of the mountain throbbed in tandem with his own. As they turned a sharp corner, a sudden roar echoed through the caverns, reverberating against the stone like thunder. Eli froze, his heart racing. What was that? He whispered. The sprite's expression turned serious. The Mountain Keeper guards the luminous stone fiercely. It is said that it can only be reached through 3 trials, each one revealing a truth about yourself. The first will test your courage against the shadows that dwell within. Eli squared his jaw, fear and determination warring within him. I'm ready, he replied, though doubt lingered like a dark cloud above his head. The sprite smiled, her wings flashing with iridescent colors, and as she waved her hand again, a shimmering doorway opened within the stone, leading to a chamber cloaked in darkness. Step forward, brave heart, she encouraged, her voice lilting like a gentle breeze. Embrace the shadows, for only then will you see the light. Taking a deep breath, Eli crossed the threshold, the moment he entered filling him with an inexplicable sense of dread. The air grew colder and thicker, wrapping around him like a shroud. As the darkness enveloped him, shapes began to emerge, a cacophony of whispers, taunts, and lost dreams that clawed at the edges of his mind. Eli, called a voice sweet and familiar, yet laced with sorrow. Why do you persist? You could have a life far from these trials, far from the risks of love. Turn back before it's too late. His heart clenched at the sound of Lyra's voice, ethereal yet haunting. Was it truly her, or merely an illusion conjured by the shadows to weaken his resolve? Pressed forward, grounding himself in the memory of her laughter, the warmth of her smile, and the promise he had made. Lyra, he shouted, his voice cutting through the darkness. I won't abandon you. I will fight for you. The shadows writhed in response, their forms shifting like smoke, but Eli's declaration seemed to brighten the chamber. He felt the warmth of the stars, their light igniting within him, pushing back the creeping dread. Confronting the specters of his fear, he stood tall, letting the love he held for Lyra blaze fiercely in his chest. Show me what you must, he challenged. The shadows. But know this. No darkness can extinguish the light of my heart. And as he spoke those words, a crack of light appeared in the surrounding gloom, illuminating the path ahead. The shadows lingered, their whispers shifting to murmurs of uncertainty. Eli took a step forward, resolute. The trial had begun, but he was ready to face whatever lay ahead, guided by the unwavering love that called him onward. As the light expanded, Eli found himself in a vast chamber adorned with glimmering crystals that seemed to pulse with the energy of the stars above. Each crystal hummed a melody that resonated deep within him, a symphony of hope and despair mingling in the air like the dusk that caressed the horizon. It was then that he caught sight of a figure perched on a grand throne made of twisted branches and sparkling stones. The figure was cloaked in shadows, yet Eli could discern a pair of piercing eyes that shone like twin moons in the darkness. "Welcome, young dreamer," the figure said, their voice smooth and silky, curling around Eli like tendrils of smoke. "You seek to rescue your beloved from the clutches of despair. But tell me, boy, what makes you think you are worthy of such a journey?" Eli straightened, feeling the weight of the figure's gaze upon him. "I do not seek worthiness," he replied, his voice steady, despite the tremor of his heart. "I seek love. I am driven by the promise I made, and the light that she brings into my life. Love is my strength, and I will not let the darkness take her from me." A chilling laugh echoed through the chamber, bouncing off the crystal walls like a haunting refrain. "Ah, love," the figure mused, their tone dripping with mockery. "A noble pursuit indeed. Yet love can easily become a weapon against you. Are you prepared for the trials that await? Trials that will test the very fabric of your heart?" Eli's resolve hardened. "I am ready. Whatever I must face, I will do so for Lyra, for her laughter, for the stars that guide me." The figure leaned forward, revealing a face both beautiful and terrible, etched with ancient wisdom and sorrow. "Very well. Listen closely, for your first trial begins now. You will confront 3 echoes of your heart's deepest fears. Only by facing them can you hope to reach Lyra." With a wave of the figure's hand, the chamber shifted, the crystalline walls dissolving into a swirling mist of colors. Eli felt himself being pulled into a maelstrom, the world around him spinning until he found himself standing on the edge of a cliff, the moonlight bathing him in its silver glow. Before him, a haunting illusion took shape, a specter of his past, a moment where he had felt utterly invisible, overlooked and forgotten by those he loved. It was the day his father had left, a memory laden with heartache and questions unasked. The specter's eyes were filled with a deep melancholy that mirrored Eli's own pain. "Do you think love can triumph over loss?" the specter whispered, its voice echoing Eli's childhood fears. "Are you not afraid of being abandoned once more? What if Lyra, like others, fades from your life?" Eli's heart raced at the confrontation, but he steadied himself. "Love is not just about holding on. It's also about trusting. I will not let the fear of loss steal my joy. Lyra deserves my heart fully without the weight of my past." The specter recoiled, flickering in the moonlight, fading like mist in the morning sun. Eli felt a surge of warmth. The first trial had been vanquished, but he knew there were 2 more to face. With a blink, the second trial began. He found himself in a garden, once vibrant and flourishing, now wilted and barren. A familiar voice echoed through the air, sharp and accusatory. "Why chase after a girl who may never love you back?" it taunted, a shadowy figure resembling his closest friend, torn between jealousy and resentment. "Do you not see how foolish you are, risking everything for a fleeting dream?" Eli's breath caught in his throat, memories of quiet competition and unspoken feelings flooding back. "I do not chase dreams," he responded, his voice perhaps a bit more forceful than intended. "I pursue a reality, a truth that blooms in the sunlight of our love. Jealousy has no place in my heart. It only withers the spirit." The garden began to glow, flowers blooming in vibrant colors, suffusing the air with a sweet, heady fragrance. The specter shattered like glass, revealing the beauty hidden beneath the pain. Eli felt another weight lifted, yet he was still conscious of the last trial awaiting him. As the scene shifted once more, Eli found himself standing in a tempest, winds howling around him like a wild beast. Towering waves crashed against jagged rocks, each surge threatening to swallow him whole. and from the storm emerged a shadowy figure, the embodiment of his greatest fear, the fear of failure, of not being enough for Lyra. "Will you brave this storm?" it roared, the voice booming like thunder. "What if you are not the hero she believes you to be? What if your love is not enough to save her from her fate?" Eli felt the icy grip of doubt claw at his heart, but he stood firm against the relentless winds, recalling the warmth of Lyra's smile and the glow of their shared dreams. "I may falter," he shouted against the tempest, "but I will never stop fighting. Our love is the anchor that will guide us through the fiercest of storms." With a final declaration, the winds began to quiet, the storm dispersing under the weight of his conviction. The shadow faded into the ether, and for an instant, Eli felt the soothing embrace of calm wash over him. With the trials behind him, the chamber returned, the figure upon the throne waiting patiently. "You have faced your fears and emerged unbroken. But know this, dear boy, the path to Lyra is fraught with challenges still. Trust in your heart, and let love be your compass." Eli nodded, resolved to continue his quest. The light of the crystals brightened at his affirmation, guiding him toward the next step of his journey, and he felt a renewed determination surge within him. There was still much to do, and Lyra was waiting. As Eli stepped away from the throne, the crystalline chamber shimmered with a gentle glow, illuminating the pathway ahead. Each glimmering stone whispered tales of old, as if they were alive, urging him forward into the unknown. The air was thick with anticipation, and the warmth of hope wrapped around him like a protective cloak. Yet his heart raced, for he understood that the next challenge awaited him not in the depths of darkness, but rather in the vibrant light of the world beyond. As he ventured into the passageway, the walls transformed into lush landscapes, painted in hues of emerald and sapphire. Birds sang sweet melodies, their songs weaving through the air like threads of silk. It was a peaceful realm, yet Eli sensed an undercurrent of unease. The vibrant flora danced playfully, swaying to the music of the wind, yet their laughter felt tinged with sadness, as if they longed for something just out of reach. "Why do you seem so sorrowful, dear friends?" Eli called to a nearby blossom, its petals trembling in the gentle breeze. A delicate flower, vibrant yet dimmed, raised her head with a sigh. "We bloom in beauty, but our hearts are heavy, for our essence is tethered to a sorrowful tale. The Sun King, who once painted the skies with warmth and light, has lost his way. His heart is shrouded in shadows, and without his joy, our colors fade." Eli's brow furrowed as he absorbed the weight of her words. "What can be done to bring back the Sun King's light?" "The path is perilous," said a tall tree nearby, its bark gnarled and wise. "You must venture to the caves of reflection, where the king hides from the world. There, you will face the echoes of his past, the regrets that bind him, and the fears that shroud his heart." "I will find him," Eli vowed, his spirit ignited. "For if his happiness can restore your colors, then I shall not waver." With each determined step, Eli traversed the vibrant forest, the air growing richer with earthy scents and the exhilarating thrill of possibility. As he approached the entrance of the caves of reflection, the sunlight began to dim, casting long shadows upon the ground. A chilling breeze swept through, whispering secrets of the cave's haunted history. Eli's resolve, however, was reaffirmed by the thought of Lyra, her laughter echoing in his mind, and the promise of their future together. Stepping inside the cave, Eli was engulfed by darkness, but as his eyes adjusted, he noticed glimmers of light, reflecting off the damp walls, like stars captured within the earth's embrace. The soft sound of trickling water echoed, creating a melody of serenity despite the tension that simmered in the air. "Who dares enter my sanctuary?" a voice cried, resonating from the depths of the shadows. "I am Eli," he replied, his voice steady despite the fear that coursed through him. "I am here to seek the Sun King. Your sadness has spread to the world outside, and I wish to help you reclaim your light." With a heavy silence, a figure emerged from the depths, a regal being cloaked in shadows, the remnants of once vibrant robes now dulled and tattered. His eyes, once radiant, now mirrored the sorrow of untold regrets. "You think a mere boy can mend what I have broken? My heart is a battlefield of despair, and I am not the king you seek." Eli stepped closer, his determination unwavering. But every heart can heal. You do not need to fight alone. Let me help you unearth your light once more. The Sun King hesitated, caught between the longing for connection and the weight of his burdens. What do you know of darkness, child? What can you offer that I have not already forsaken? Eli took a deep breath, remembering the trials he had faced, the love that had fueled his journey. I know the power of love and hope. I have battled my own fears and emerged transformed. Sometimes it takes the courage of another to shine light where shadows linger. For the first time, a flicker of interest sparked in the Sun King's eyes. Eli felt that tiny ember ignite an understanding, as if the ancient echoes of forgotten joys were beginning to stir from their slumber. Then come forth, Eli, the king intoned, softer now. If you dare, let us face these reflections together. I will show you the darkness I bear. And perhaps, just perhaps, you might hold a lantern bright enough to guide us home. With that unspoken invitation, the cave began to pulse with energy. A shadow swirled around them, revealing the haunting memories that awaited. Eli squared his shoulders, ready to confront whatever lay ahead, for he understood that love's light could illuminate even the darkest corners of the soul. And as they stepped further into the gloom, a new adventure unfurled before them, shrouded in mystery and the promise of redemption. As they journeyed deeper into the cave, the air thickened with memories, each shadow weaving stories of hopes dashed and dreams cast aside. Eli clutched the threads of warmth within him like a lifeline, eager to share the light he had discovered in his own heart. The darkness whispered tales that fluttered like moths, brushing past him with each flicker of the ethereal glow surrounding them, urging him to listen. "Do you see?" the Sun King murmured, his voice echoing through the cavern, imbued with a lament that seemed to resonate with the very stones. "These shadows are not mere figments. They are the remnants of my past, my failures." Eli stepped cautiously forward, the beams of light in his heart illuminating snippets of the king's memories, flashes of golden fields under bright skies, laughter that once echoed like chimes in the wind, and the faces of loved ones whose faces were now cloaked in a haze of regret. "But they are also reminders of who you were," Eli replied, emboldened by the king's vulnerability. "The warmth of the sun can pierce through the thickest gloom. You can still reclaim these moments." With a deep breath, the Sun King raised his hands, beckoning forth the shadows. They darkened and twisted, transforming into figures of his past, a beloved child playing in the sun, a partner sharing quiet moments by the fire, friends gathered in joyous celebration. Yet each specter bore a sorrowful expression, as if the joy had been stolen from their eyes. "Look," the king said quietly, his voice trembling. "They bear witness to my failures. I was a ruler consumed by duty, blinded by ambition. I thought I could keep them safe by shielding them from the world, but in doing so, I built walls that drove us apart." "I understand," Eli replied gently, his heart swelling with empathy. "We all build walls, whether out of fear of losing those we love or out of the desire to protect them. But isolation only deepens the shadows." As Eli spoke, he felt the warmth grow within him. It sparked a connection, a silent encouragement between them, and the walls of despair began to tremble, quaking under the weight of understanding. The shadows quivered, unsure, as if torn between the desire to envelop them further and the faint glimmer of hope Eli had ignited. "Let them speak their truths, my king," Eli said, feeling the gravity of the moment pressing upon him. "You must face what you fear most. Only then can love's light shine through the cracks." With a hesitant nod, the Sun King lowered his head, summoning forth the phantoms of his past. The figures shifted, their faces contorting in expressions of grief and longing. The first to step forward was a young girl with cascading golden curls, his daughter Elara. "Father," she whispered, her voice a haunting melody that resonated with the ache of lost time. "You shut me out when all I wanted was to share my joys with you." The Sun King's eyes softened, and Eli could feel the heaviness that came with the weight of his guilt. "I thought I was protecting you, my child. I was so afraid of the world's darkness that I isolated you from the very light I sought to shield you from." Elara's spectre shimmered, her bright spirit fighting against the shadows that sought to pull her back. "You taught me to be brave, yet you let your own fear dictate our destinies. Open your heart, Father. Let the sun back into your life, for I am still here, reaching for you." Eli felt a surge within him. The truth of those words resonated with all he had learned on his own journey. "You are not lost, King. Love endures across boundaries of time and space. Let your daughter's light guide you beyond the gloom." With a breath that quaked with vulnerability, the Sun King raised his head, his mouth trembling as he spoke. "Ilara, I am so sorry. I should have listened." And as those words hung in the air, they began to dispel the shadows swirling around them, like warmth melting away frost. Eli watched as the spectral figure of Ilara radiated a soft golden glow, illuminating the darkness surrounding them. The cave transformed. Its once oppressive atmosphere shifted into a sanctuary, resonating with the echoes of laughter and love that once filled the Sun King's heart. "Now," Eli said, his voice steady, "who else awaits your embrace?" The Sun King's eyes widened with renewed purpose, and as if the shadows themselves were answering his call, more figures began to emerge from the depths of memory. One by one, they stepped forward, each fading specter illuminating the cave with their presence. Friends, mentors, even lost pets, all bearing the weight of their stories intertwined with his. "Together, we can weave back the tapestry of love that once shone so brightly," Eli encouraged, feeling the warmth swell within him as he witnessed the true magic of connection unfolding. And in the heart of that cave, amidst swirling shadows and flickering memories, Eli and the Sun King began the most important journey of all, the path to healing through the light of love. As the air crackled with renewed energy, Eli felt the rhythm of the cave change. It pulsed with a heartbeat, resonating with the cadence of hope. The ethereal figures gathered closer, their voices merging into a harmonious chorus that echoed through the confines of the cavern. Each spirit held a unique tale, entwined with the Sun King's past, and Eli realized that every story was a thread in the grand tapestry of joy and sorrow. "Do you remember me, my dear friend?" A soft voice emerged, and from the shadows stepped a playful young girl with golden curls, her presence lively and infectious. "I was the one who dared you to chase the sunbeams across the meadow." The Sun King's face lit up as recognition washed over him. "Lyra, you brought light to my darkest days. We danced beneath the twilight, dreaming of endless days." "Yes," Lyra said, her laughter sparkling like the stars above. "But you forgot the magic of those moments. You let fear cast a shadow over the joy we shared. Come, let us dance again. Let us remind you of the warmth in our memories." With a graceful wave of her hand, Lyra beckoned the other spirits closer, and soon the cave erupted with light. They began to swirl around the Sun King, their laughter mingling with the echoes of the past. Eli watched, enraptured, as the energy in the cave transformed into a vibrant whirlwind, illuminating the darkness with a kaleidoscope of memories. "Join us, King." Ilara's voice rang clear above the joyous chaos. "Let your heart feel the rhythm of our love, the bonds we forged through trials and laughter. This is the light you have long forgotten." Compelled by the warmth of their encouragement, the Sun King stepped forward, letting go of the burdens that had shackled him for so long. He moved tentatively at first, but as the figures twirled and swayed around him, he felt the echoes of his youth envelop him in a gentle embrace. The dance of memories washed over his heart, igniting a long-dormant fire. "Feel it, Father," Eli urged, his own spirit lifting with the collective joy swirling around them. "Let go of the chains. Let the light in. Love is brave. Love is free." With every spin and leap, the cave brightened, shadows receding like waves drawing back from the shore. The spirits sang their stories, a sonorous tapestry woven of laughter, loss, joy, and redemption. The Sun King closed his eyes, surrendering to the rhythm, allowing each memory to brighten his soul anew. But just as the joyful crescendo reached its peak, a crack of thunder echoed through the cave, slicing through the harmony like a knife. The connection faltered, and Eli's heart raced as he glanced toward the cave entrance. A formidable storm brewed outside, dark clouds swirling, menacingly, threatening to engulf their sanctuary and shatter their fragile moment of reunion. "Everyone, hold tight!" Eli shouted, his voice barely penetrating the rising wind. "Do not let despair break this bond. The spirits clung to one another, their faces determined, their lights flickering, defiantly against the encroaching darkness. Yet the howling wind grew louder, a fearsome guardian of the cave, demanding that the light within be extinguished. "Remember," Ilara called out, her voice ringing strong against the storm. "Remember that love is the strongest magic of all. It cannot be extinguished by mere shadows." Eli's heart pounded as he drew upon every ounce of courage he had gained from his journey. "We must believe in our love," he cried, his voice intertwining with the spirits. "Together, we can push against the storm. Together, we are stronger than fear." Hands clasped and hearts aligned, the Sun King, Eli, and the gathered spirits formed a circle, their lights radiating in unity. With a collective breath, they summoned the warmth of their shared memories, a sacred power that began to transcend even the fiercest winds. As the storm roared outside, the cave shimmered with the brilliance of their resolve, casting shadows away like a shroud. The figures danced fervently, weaving a protective light that flickered like 1,000 fireflies. Eli felt the warmth swell within him, a beacon of hope in the face of despair, and he knew they would not falter. "Let the storm come," he shouted fervently, his heart vibrating with determination. "For love is the light that guides us through the darkest nights." Outside, the winds howled, but within the cave the light pulsed and grew stronger, a testament to the unyielding power of love and connection. The journey toward healing had only just begun, and Eli, the Sun King, and the spirits prepared to face the tempest together, united by the very essence that made them whole. With renewed strength surging through them, a warmth radiated from the center of their circle, breaking through the chilling grip of the storm. Eli could feel the rush of ancient magic entwining with the love they all shared, a beautiful tapestry woven from countless moments and memories now ignited by their collective spirit. "Close your eyes and recall your happiest moment," Ilara encouraged, her voice a soothing balm amidst the fury. "Envision it as a flame bright and alive. Let it merge with the light we create." One by one, the spirits closed their eyes, their brows furrowing in concentration. Eli could see their faces soften as they recalled their cherished memories. Laughter shared under cherry blossoms, the touch of a kindred spirit's hand, the sound of a beloved melody lingering in the air. As each memory surged forth, their individual lights grew in brilliance, feeding the collective glow of their bond. Eli thought of his own happiest moment, the day he had first discovered his ability to speak to the stars, a night filled with wonder, laughter, and the intoxicating scent of summer blooms. In that memory, he felt his mother's arms wrapped around him, her voice like a gentle breeze whispering that he was destined for greatness. He clutched that thought tightly and opened his heart to it, letting it blend with the love that surrounded him. Suddenly, the howling wind shifted, adopting a more mournful tone, almost as if it were lamenting its impending defeat. Eli opened his eyes and saw the storm clouds beginning to swirl in confusion, their dark forms fading slightly under the radiant glow of the spirit's light. As if summoned by their unwavering belief, the shadows started to retreat, the thunder drawing back like a curtain. Eli could hardly believe his eyes as the swirling tempest began to unravel, revealing fragments of the starry sky above. It felt as though the heavens themselves were echoing their defiance against despair, affirming that hope always found a way to thrive, even in the bleakest of moments. But just as the sky opened up to reveal a sprinkle of shimmering stars, a shadow surged from the depths of the storm, a dark figure cloaked in sorrow. It surged toward them, its form shifting and twisting, almost resembling a forgotten memory made flesh, the embodiment of doubts and fears long buried beneath the surface. "I am the keeper of shadows," it declared, its voice a chilling whisper that reverberated through the cave, wrapping around them like tendrils of mist. "Your light is but a flicker in the face of despair. You who dare to spark hope will find it extinguished by the weight of your own sorrow." Eli's heart sank for a moment, the words striking a chord within him. He recalled the fears he had buried deep, the sense of loss, the loneliness that sometimes accompanied his gift, the worry that he might fail those he loved. He gazed out at the spirits, their faces filled with determination but tinged with fear, and he knew they felt it too. "Do not listen!" Ilara shouted, stepping forward, her luminous presence a beacon amidst the encroaching shadows. "We are not defined by our fears, but by our choices. We choose love. We choose to stand together." With renewed resolve, Eli stepped alongside her, raising his hands above his head as he channeled the radiant energy they had cultivated. "And we will not run from the shadows," he declared, voice shaking yet strong. "For we have each other, and together we can face even the fiercest darkness." As if the universe conspired with them, the starry lights in the sky began to pulse in response, illuminating the cave with a brilliance that seemed to rival the sun itself. Eli felt a connection to every star above, as if they were cheering him on, reminding him of the strength that love lent to courage. The Keeper of Shadows recoiled, the darkness that once seemed so insurmountable now flickering ominously, as if unsure of its next move. Eli could see the shadows within it shifting, losing their shape in the face of the light. "Together, we are a constellation of hope," he said, his spirit soaring. "Let us shine brighter than any darkness that dares to encroach upon us." As one, they raised their hands, combining their lights into a single beam, piercing the shadows with the intensity of their love and determination. The storm outside began to wane, the clouds receding in the brilliance of their united hearts. And even the Keeper of Shadows faltered, its form wavering as if caught between realms. The wind still roared, but now they sang a new song, a melody of triumph, a hymn to courage, and Eli knew that this battle was only the beginning. Together, they would face whatever trials lay ahead, for love would guide them through the night, and the stars would always be their guardians. With their combined light illuminating the dim recesses of the cave, Eli and Ilara felt the very fabric of the world shift around them. The Keeper of Shadows writhed under the onslaught of their brilliance, its smoky tendrils curling and unfurling as if gasping for breath. Yet even in its moment of vulnerability, it was not defeated. A low growl rumbled from deep within its core, sending tremors through the ground beneath their feet. "Foolish children," the Keeper snarled, its voice echoing off the stone walls like a tempest. "Do you think your love can extinguish the darkness? I am ancient and unyielding. I have consumed hopes and dreams before, and I shall do so again." Eli felt a chill at these words, for he knew that the Keeper was right in its disdain. It had witnessed the downfall of many brave souls. But in that very moment, amidst the echoes of doubt, a flicker of clarity sparked within Eli's heart. He turned to Ilara, whose eyes glinted fiercely in the light, reflecting a courage that quieted the storm of uncertainty within him. "No," he said firmly, voice rising above the shadows. "We will not be consumed. Our hearts are not mere flickers, but blazing fires, and together we shall forge a path through the darkest night. You may be ancient, Keeper, but we are resilient, and love is a force you cannot comprehend." As he spoke, the pulsing energy of the stars intensified, weaving a tapestry of luminescence around them. Eli could feel each spirit behind him bolster his resolve, their collective faith weaving an unbreakable bond. They were not merely fighting for themselves, they were fighting for every flickering hope that had ever been overshadowed. "See how the stars answer our call," Ilara exclaimed, her voice filled with an enchanting fervor. "They remind us that even in the deepest darkness, light can emerge." In that instant, Eli summoned the memories of his past, the laughter of family, the warmth of friendship, the gentle whispers of encouragement from the stars at night. Each recollection fueled the light in his heart, igniting a fire that surged forth from him like a beacon of hope. The shadows recoiled further, screeching in agony as the brilliance washed over them. The Keeper of Shadows, desperate to maintain its grip, unleashed a tempest of darkness, swirling torrents that lashed out like whips against the walls of the cave. The air thickened, and an unnerving silence fell over the spirits as they braced themselves for impact. Yet Eli and Ilara stood their ground, hands linked, their light intertwining in a dazzling spiral that deflected the onslaught with an almost tangible force. "Do not falter!" Eli cried, his voice steady as the stars above. "We are not alone. Each of us carries a piece of this light. Together, we are indomitable." Emboldened by his words, the spirits surged forward, their lights amplifying Eli and Ilara's glow into a radiant shield. They felt it, the warmth of love, the strength of unity, a collective heartbeat that pulsed with purpose and determination. The darkness writhed and howled, but a crack began to form within its swirling mass, a fissure of light breaking through. "Look!" Ilara exclaimed, pointing toward the fracture. "It's working! Our light is breaking the Keeper's hold." With newfound vigor, Eli poured every ounce of his spirit into the light, weaving together dreams, memories, and the unyielding hope that had brought them here. Each heartbeat was a reminder of their journey, a testament to the power that lay in their connection to one another. The very essence of love transformed into a brilliant arrow, shooting forth from their hearts, aimed squarely at the heart of the Keeper. As the light struck, the Keeper let out an anguished roar, a sound that reverberated through the cave and echoed in the hearts of all who listened. The shadows began to unravel, dissipating into tendrils of smoke, scattering like autumn leaves in a brisk wind. But just then, a ferocious wind swept through the cavern, swirling with a force that threatened to extinguish their hard-won light. Eli stumbled, feeling the pull of despair trying to drag him back into the abyss. Yet something deep within him resisted. The voices of the loved ones who had stood by him, the stars that had guided him through the darkest nights. "Hold fast!" yelled Ilara, her grip unwavering against the tempest. "We have come too far to let fear take hold." With a final surge of courage, Eli called upon all the light within him, and all those around him, channeling it into a single magnificent pulse. It erupted from their joined hands, illuminating the cave in an explosion of brilliance that seemed to rival the very dawn. As the light engulfed the shadows, Eli felt a shift in the air, a promise of something new, something beautiful, waiting just beyond the chaos. But deep in the recesses of the darkness, the Keeper of Shadows stirred, eyes glowing with a malevolent ember. Its fury was not yet quenched, and Eli knew that the battle was far from over. With every thread of his being, he embraced the challenge ahead, for the stars had not led him this far to let him falter now. Together, they would forge a new path. Through love, through courage, through light, they would confront the Keeper once more. And as they braced themselves for what lay ahead, Eli couldn't help but wonder if perhaps this darkness held secrets of its own, waiting to be unraveled in the journey yet to come. As the brilliance of their light filled the cavern, the Keeper of Shadows, though momentarily staggered, regrouped, the air crackling with tension. Eli and Ilara stood resolute, their hands intertwined, their hearts beating as one. Each pulse resonated with hope, a beacon against the encroaching darkness. Shadows writhed like serpents around them, eager for the chance to snuff out the flicker of light that had dared to challenge their dominion. "Do you feel that?" Ilara whispered, her eyes wide, brimming with the fire of determination. "It's changing. The shadows, they're afraid." Eli nodded, sensing the tremor in their surroundings, as if the very ground beneath them acknowledged their defiance. "Let's not waste this moment. We must find the heart of the Keeper, the source of its power." They advanced deeper into the cavern, the light from their joined hands illuminating the path ahead. The walls glistened with moisture, revealing ancient carvings that spoke of battles long past, of heroes who had faced similar foes. Each step they took echoed through the stones, a rhythmic reminder that they were not alone. The valiant spirits of those who had come before lingered, whispering encouragement in the stillness. Suddenly, a chilling laughter erupted from the shadows, reverberating like thunder. "Foolish children, you think your light can vanquish me? I thrive in the dark. I was born from the fears of the world, and the more you shine, the stronger I become." From the depths of the cavern, the Keeper emerged, a towering figure cloaked in darkness, its form shifting like smoke. Its eyes burned an intense crimson, fixating on Eli and Ilara, piercing into their very souls. "You cannot outshine the abyss. You can only join it." Eli felt a wave of unease wash over him, but he remembered the stars, their gentle glow amidst the vast night. "We are not afraid of the darkness," he declared, his voice steady and unwavering. "We bring love and light, and together they are stronger than your shadows." The Keeper snarled, summoning tendrils of darkness that lashed out like whips, aiming to ensnare them. With a swift motion, Ilara raised her free hand, summoning the brilliance of their bond. "We are not alone!" she shouted, and as if in response, ethereal figures began to materialize from the light, the silhouettes of loved ones past and present, their faces radiant with encouragement. "Together we stand," Eli echoed, feeling the strength of their collective presence. The shadows recoiled, sensing a force greater than themselves. The air thrummed with energy, merging their spirits into a singular wave of light that surged toward the Keeper. As the light collided with the darkness, a violent explosion erupted, painting the cavern in hues of gold and deep violet. The Keeper let out a shriek of rage, the darkness swirling and flailing as if caught in a tempest. For a moment, Eli could see the hauntingly beautiful visage of the Keeper, a figure wrought with sorrow and anger, a creature shaped by the fears it had consumed. "Why do you resist?" the Keeper bellowed, its voice now tinged with a hint of desperation. "Embrace the shadows. They are all you have ever known." Eli took a step forward, his heart pounding. "No, we know love. We know hope. Shadows cannot define us. They are only the absence of light." With those words, he and Ilara focused their intentions, pouring every ounce of love, every cherished memory, into their glowing hands. The light transformed, shifting, and melding into a radiant shield that enveloped them, pushing back the darkness, illuminating the cavern in a brilliance that revealed the Keeper's true form, a fragmented being, torn between light and shadow. For the first time, Eli saw the Keeper not as a monster, but as a lost soul trapped in an eternal struggle. The realization struck him with profound clarity. "We can help you," he said, his voice softening. "You don't have to be alone anymore. There's beauty in embracing both light and darkness." The Keeper faltered, the shadows around it wavering. The fight within the creature raged. On, a battle of wills that echoed throughout the cavern. Eli and Ilara's light pulsed, intertwining with the remnants of the Keeper's darkness, weaving their destinies together in a tapestry of hope and redemption. As they pressed forward, Eli's heart raced, not just with fear, but with an undeniable sense that the true battle was not against the Keeper, but for its very soul. The cavern sparkled with potential, each flicker of light a testament to their determination. They would face whatever came next, not just as combatants, but as allies, in the quest for understanding and healing. And "Together we will find the way," Eli whispered, his gaze locked into the Keeper's glowing eyes. The air grew still, charged with anticipation, as the line between light and shadow began to blur, revealing an unexpected path that lay beyond the conflict. The cavern pulsed with an intensity that sent shivers racing down Eli's spine. As the light emanated from their hands, it danced around the Keeper, enveloping it gently, like a warm embrace. Shadows flickered nervously, as if uncertain of what to do with this unexpected kindness. Ilara stood resolutely beside Eli, her eyes shimmering with determination, willing to embrace this new journey with him. "Listen to us," Eli urged, his voice steady despite the chaos swirling around them. "You don't have to fight against yourself. We see the pain you carry. Let us help you find the light within the darkness." The Keeper hesitated, its formidable form quivering as tendrils of shadow slithered back, revealing glimpses of brilliance within its depths, like stars hidden beneath a shroud of clouds. For a moment, Eli thought he could see the Keeper's past, a flicker of laughter, a glimmer of joy mingled with despair. It was a life once, full of light, now choked by the weight of sorrow. "Why would you wish to help me?" The Keeper's voice trembled, a mixture of vulnerability and disbelief. "I am the embodiment of all that is feared. I am not worthy of light, nor of love." Eli took a deep breath. "We all have our shadowy corners. We all have moments we wish we could forget. But it is those very moments that shape us into who we are. You can choose to be more than the weight of your shadows. We are not here to judge. We are here to stand by your side." Ilara stepped forward, her voice emerging as a melodic whisper in the cavernous stillness. "You were once bright, Keeper. Let us help you revive that lost light. Together we can chase away the darkness that has clouded your heart." The Keeper's form flickered, the shadows swirling like an autumn breeze, uncertain but curious. Eli and Alara's light pulsed in rhythm, with their hearts, a beacon drawing the keeper closer to the warmth of hope. The air thickened with anticipation. The cavern itself seemed to hold its breath, waiting for the next moment to unfold. "Will you allow us to guide you?" Eli asked softly, his heart racing with a blend of anxiety and hope. "Will you take the first step?" For what felt like an eternity, silence reigned. The keeper's gaze wavered, the layers of darkness wrapping around it like a heavy cloak slowly unraveling. Then, in the most delicate of gestures, it took a tentative step toward the light, its fragmented form shimmering as shadows began to retreat. As the keeper moved closer, the cavern brightened, flooding the space with warmth. The darkness that had once consumed it started to part like clouds giving way to the sun. I wish to feel," the keeper whispered, its voice tinged with longing, "but the fear has kept me bound." "Fear is a part of your story," Eli replied, stepping closer as Alara mirrored his movement. "But it doesn't have to be your ending. We'll face the fear together. Show us who you are beneath the weight of those shadows." The keeper nodded slowly, a tremor of uncertainty still coursing through it, but a flicker of curiosity ignited in its gaze. As Eli and Alara raised their hands higher, the light flared and danced, shimmering like the constellations above them. The cavern responded, the walls around them vibrating with newfound energy, eager to witness transformation. With each pulse of light, a piece of the keeper began to blend into the radiance, shadows trembling and releasing their hold. Memories spilled forth, the laughter of children, the embrace of friends, the simple joy of being alive. As they poured out, the cavern filled with a symphony of echoes, each note a testament to the keeper's forgotten joy. Yet the shadows lingered, reluctant to release their grip entirely. Eli felt the weight of their presence, a reminder that the journey toward healing was rarely linear. "Remember," he said, his voice steady with resolve, "every step forward is a testament to your courage. It's okay to feel afraid. You are not alone in this." The keeper's form flickered between light and dark, a beautiful conflict that spoke of a soul finding its way home. "I am lost," it murmured, the shadows quaking around it as if sensing the change. "How do I become whole again?" "By accepting both parts of yourself," Alara answered, her voice rising in a chorus of encouragement. "Embrace your light, but remember the lessons learned in the shadows. You are beautiful not despite your darkness, but because of it. Together, we'll weave your story anew." Renewed determination, Eli took a step closer, extending his hand. Alara mirrored him, their combined light entwining as they invited the keeper into their circle. "Join us in this dance of light and shadow," Eli said, his heart echoing with hope. "Together, we will discover the magic of who you truly are." As the keeper hesitated, the shadows swirled like a tempest, but a glimmer of light shone in its depths, and in that moment, the cavern transformed. A place of battle would become a sanctuary, where love, hope, and the promise of redemption filled every corner, waiting to unfold a new chapter in their entangled fates. With a shuddering breath, the keeper stepped forward, a hesitant ember flickering amidst the shadows. Eli and Alara could feel the uncertainty wrapping around it like a cloak, yet within that veil, the spark of yearning for light pulsed brighter. The air shimmered, with anticipation, each heartbeat resonating like a distant drum, urging the keeper onward. "Let us begin our dance," Alara whispered, her voice a gentle breeze against the keeper's tumultuous thoughts. The cavern trembled in response to her words, the once oppressive darkness shifting in waves, surrendering its hold to a rising tide of warmth. The very stones beneath their feet glimmered with flecks of the keeper's scattered memories, each one a fragment of light that sought to be reunited. As they moved together, the trio swirled in a harmonious rhythm, the keeper still caught between the shadows and the dawn of newfound hope. "Feel the music of your heart," Eli encouraged, guiding them through the ever-changing landscape of emotions. "Every beat is a reminder that you are alive, that you have loved and been loved." Slowly, the keeper began to sway, the shadows loosening their grip, as remnants of joy seeped from within. Laughter echoed in the cavern, a sweet sound that intertwined with the flickering light, swirling through the air like golden ribbons. "What is this feeling?" the keeper asked, astonished as echoes of forgotten joy reverberated within its being. "That is your spirit awakening," Ilara replied, her own laughter mingling with the keeper's. "It is the light drawing you home, showing you that even in darkness you are never truly lost." With each passing moment, the keeper's form began to solidify, its features illuminated by shards of its own essence. The shadows, once foreboding, now took on a softer hue, resembling gentle waves upon a serene sea, caressing the keeper's edges rather than constricting them. The cavern pulsed in rhythm, the walls breathing with their dance, as if acknowledging this magnificent transformation. "Let go of what holds you, Olds. Back," Eli urged, his hand still extended, inviting. "You have cherished moments that shaped you, even in sorrow. Hold those close, but do not let them define you. You are more than your shadows. You are a tapestry woven from light, laughter, and love." The keeper trembled, caught in an emotional tempest as flashes of its past overwhelmed it. A child's sweet voice calling out in glee, the warmth of a mother's embrace, the gentle twinkle of stars overhead on a night filled with endless dreams. Each memory, though tinged with sorrow, shimmered with hope, as if guiding the keeper toward acceptance. "I want to be whole again," it confessed, tears glistening like droplets of starlight. "But what if I can't find my way?" "You already are whole," Eli replied softly, his voice a soothing balm against the keeper's distress. "The journey of self-discovery is not a path of perfection. It is an exploration of every part of you. Embrace the joy, the sorrow, the laughter, and the tears. They are all threads in the fabric of your being." Buoyed by their words, the keeper began to unfurl, the shadows swirling around it transforming into delicate wisps of mist, tracing patterns of connection and renewal. "Together," Ilara continued, "we will stitch the tapestry of your spirit, blending the light and dark into a magnificent portrait of who you are meant to be." As if the very essence of the cavern itself echoed her sentiments, a soft light began to radiate from the stones, illuminating the faces of Eli and Ilara as they moved in sync, guiding the keeper through the dance of rebirth. The shadows, now softened, twirled gracefully around the three, whispering secrets of redemption and resilience. In that sacred space, a flicker of understanding dawned within the keeper, a realization that the shadows were not adversaries to be defeated, but companions bearing stories waiting to be told. "I can embrace my past," it murmured, newfound resolve flickering within its heart. "I can create a future, woven from both light and dark." Energized by this acceptance, they spun, together in a whirlwind of color and sound, the cavern enveloping them in a cocoon of warmth as the transformation unfolded. Eli and Ilara grinned, feeling the magic of connection surge between them, the promise of new beginnings filling the air like the sweetest melody, their hearts beating as one, a triumphant celebration of life and the beauty of becoming whole. In the wake of their shared dance, the air shimmered with an ethereal glow, and the cavern began to pulse with a steady rhythm, as if echoing the heartbeat of the world outside. Each moment felt like a precious note in a grand symphony, and the keeper reveled in the newfound energy that flowed through its form. No longer just a collection of shadows, it felt vibrant, alive, a being crafted from both light and dark, ready to embrace the world beyond the stone confines. As they twirled, the cavern walls receded, revealing a vast expanse of twilight sky filled with sparkling constellations. The stars twinkled mischievously, whispering ancient secrets to one another, their light mingling with the warmth of the trio's celebration. Eli, with a boyish grin, lifted his arms, inviting the keeper to join him and Ilara in a leap towards the heavens. "Look," he called out, his voice echoing joyfully against the stone. "The stars are our friends. They have watched over you, keeper, waiting for this moment to guide you back to the sky." With a surge of courage, the keeper leaped forward, its form shifting and swirling, becoming a cascade of silvery mist. It joined Eli and Ilara in a dance that defied gravity, soaring through the air as they spiraled upward, a trio of light against the canopy of night. With every twirl and turn, the keeper felt the weight of its past lifting, replaced by a buoyant sense of possibility. With every beat and every swirl, they rose higher, until they found themselves floating among the stars. Each celestial body seemed to pulse with life, responding to their presence. The keeper looked down, amazed at the world beneath. A patchwork of shimmering lakes, rolling hills, and clusters of bright homes, all nestled under the expansive, star-studded sky. "It is beautiful," the keeper whispered, awe filling its voice. "I had forgotten how wondrous the world can be." Ilara's laughter danced through the night air. "And it is ever more beautiful when you choose to see it. Remember, keeper, the stars are not just a spectacle. They are beacons of hope, born from the dust of dreams and the whispered wishes of countless hearts." As they soared, a glimmer caught Eli's attention. A shooting star streaked across the night, leaving behind a shimmering tail of light. "A wish! Quick! What do you wish for?" he exclaimed, eyes sparkling with excitement. The keeper pondered deeply, recalling the burdens it had carried for so long. "I wish for understanding," it finally declared, a gentle resolve filling its words. "I wish to understand my shadows, to learn from them and to weave their tales into a tapestry of my life." Ilara nodded solemnly, her eyes reflecting the brilliance of the stars. "A wise wish indeed. Remember, keeper, each shadow carries a lesson, and each lesson shapes the light that you share with the world." As they floated in the boundless expanse, the Lao keeper felt a warm glow wrapping around its essence, like a cherished embrace. The stars seemed to pulse in response to its wish, twinkling more brightly, shimmering with the promise of new beginnings. But just as a wave of peace washed over them, a distant rumble echoed through the night, like a thundercloud gathering on the horizon. The stars flickered, their light dimming for an instant, and an unsettling chill danced through the air. "What was that?" Eli asked, his voice trembling slightly, the joy of the moment threatened by an unseen shadow. The keeper, feeling a flicker of unease, looked toward the source of the rumble. The darkness of the sky began to swirl ominously, coiling like smoke around a flickering flame. "I do not know," it replied cautiously, "but I fear something stirs beyond our sight." Ilara's brow furrowed as she peered into the depths of the twilight. "We must return to the ground. The skies may hold secrets, but the earth will always be our home." With urgency, their dance shifted. They spiraled downward, the stars guiding their descent. But the rumbling grew louder, a discordant melody that echoed through the heavens, drawing nearer with each heartbeat. A shadow loomed larger, darkening the heavens, and the keeper felt a shiver run through its ethereal form. "We must hurry," Eli urged, his face a mix of determination and fear. The trio narrowed their focus, weaving through clusters of shimmering stars, racing against the impending darkness that threatened to swallow them whole. As they descended closer to the earth, the world below began to tremble, and the keeper's heart raced with a mix of apprehension and excitement. What awaits us below? It wondered silently, the weight of its wish mingling with the uncertainty of the looming shadows. In the depths of the earth, a new challenge awaited them, one that would test their newfound connection and the strength of their resolve. The keeper steeled itself, knowing that the journey was far from over, and that the tapestry of its destiny was yet to be woven in full. As they soared closer to the ground, the trio was met with a landscape transformed by the twilight's embrace. The trees swayed uneasily, their branches reaching out like gnarled fingers into the darkening sky, while the moon, a hesitant witness, peeked through the clouds, casting a silvery glow upon the earth. Shadows danced amongst the foliage, and the rustle of leaves whispered secrets of those who had come before, tales of courage, fear, and unyielding hope. With each heartbeat, the rumbling intensified, as if the very earth was warning them of an encroaching danger. Eli felt a deepening sense of dread, the kind that wrapped around his heart like ivy on a forgotten stone wall. "What if it's a monster?" he mused aloud, shivering at the thought. "Not all monsters are what they seem," the keeper replied, its voice calm yet resolute. "Sometimes they are merely lost souls seeking a way to find their place in a world that has forgotten them." Ilara, with her heart racing like a wild stallion, nodded in agreement. "Then we shall listen first, and perhaps we can help, if help is what they need." The ground loomed closer, and with a graceful arc they landed softly amidst the tall grass that swayed like a green ocean under the moonlight. The rumble transformed into a low growl, pulsating through the earth beneath their feet. They exchanged wary glances, forming a silent pact of bravery. Together, they ventured deeper into the heart of the world, drawn by an irresistible urge to uncover the truth behind the darkness. As they stepped deeper into a thicket, the air grew thick with anticipation. The growls morphed into distinct, anguished sounds, creating a symphony of despair that pulled at their very souls. Cautiously, they edged closer to the source, where a clearing opened before them, revealing a sight that sent tremors of shock through their hearts. There, beneath the watchful eyes of the moon, a creature was huddled, its body coiled like a spring, covered in matted fur that shimmered with remnants of stars. It was a beast of both sorrow and strength, its eyes like molten gold, reflecting the pain of countless nights spent longing for companionship. The keeper gasped, feeling an inexplicable kinship with the creature. "What are you?" Eli whispered, stepping forward, curiosity overcoming his fear. "Are you the source of the rumbling?" The creature lifted its head, slowly, revealing a face marked by battles lost and won, a mixture of fierce beauty and deep sadness. "I am the guardian of dreams," it replied in a voice as rich as the earth and as haunting as the wind. "Once, I protected the dreams of all who slept beneath the stars, but a curse befell me, and now I am bound to this place, raging against the darkness that holds my heart captive." Ilara gasped, recalling the tales her grandmother had spun by the fireside, stories of a guardian lost to despair, a creature who had given everything to safeguard dreams, yet had its own joy stripped away. "What can we do to free you from this curse?" she asked, a sense of determination igniting within her. "The light of 1,000 wishes can lift the weight of sorrow," the guardian lamented, its golden eyes shimmering with hope and despair entwined. "But to kindle that light, you must first believe in it. You must gather the lost wishes that linger in the hearts of those who have forgotten how to dream. Only then can my chains be broken." Eli exchanged glances with Ilara and the keeper, each feeling the weight of the guardian's plight settle upon them like a heavy cloak. "We will help you," Eli declared, his voice steady. "We will gather the wishes, no matter how far we must journey." As the guardian's eyes gleamed with gratitude, a flash of light erupted from the depths of the forest, illuminating the shadows that clung to the trees. The darkness momentarily retreated, revealing a path lined with glowing petals that shimmered like the remnants of forgotten dreams. "Follow this path," the guardian instructed, its voice now a gentle breeze. "It will lead you to those whose hearts ache for a wish to be rekindled. But beware, the shadows will not yield easily. They will test your resolve." With hearts steeled by purpose, they stepped onto the luminous trail, ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. As they ventured further, the air hummed with potential, each step a ripple in the fabric of fate, weaving their destinies closer to the guardian's long-lost dreams. Little did they know that the journey would not only test their bravery, but also reveal the hidden corners of their own hearts, where wishes lay dormant, waiting to be awakened. The path ahead twisted like a stream dancing through a meadow, the glow of the petals illuminating their faces, casting soft shadows that flickered with the rhythm of the forest. Each bloom seemed to pulse with life, whispering secrets of forgotten hopes. Eli, Ilara, and the keeper pressed on, their excitement mingling with trepidation, for they were acutely aware that the shadows loomed close, their cold fingers lingering just beyond the light. As they walked, the forest around them came alive with murmurs. The branches swayed as if they were conversing, and the wind carried the faintest echoes of laughter and sorrow intertwined. "Do you remember the stories of the wishing well?" Ilara ventured, her voice a melody against the backdrop of rustling leaves. "The one that grants a wish to anyone who drops a coin?" Eli mused, a frown creasing his brow. "But what if they wish for something selfish? Wouldn't that only lead to chaos?" "It is not the wish itself," the keeper whispered, her golden eyes scanning. "The forest. It is the heart behind the wish that matters. A wish born from love can weave magic that transforms not just the wisher but the world around them." The trio fell into a contemplative silence, each absorbed in their thoughts. Ilara's mind wandered to her own secret wish, one she had kept, hidden beneath layers of fear and doubt, a wish to be brave enough to chase her dreams beyond the boundaries of her small village. She felt an ember of determination ignite within her, whispering that perhaps it was time to share that wish, to breathe life into it. Suddenly the air shifted, thickening as shadows encroached upon their light, swirling in a vortex of despair. The atmosphere grew heavy, the previously vibrant colors dulled to shades of gray. "What's happening?" Eli asked, his voice quavering with apprehension. The keeper raised her staff, the crystal atop it glimmering with defiance. "The shadows are testing us. They feed on fear and doubt. Remember your wishes. They are stronger than this darkness. Speak them out loud." With a deep breath, Elara stepped forward, her heart pounding like a drum. "I wish to be brave," she declared, her voice ringing clear and bright. As her words echoed through the trees, the petals around them glowed brighter, illuminating the shadows for a fleeting moment. Eli followed, his voice more confident now. "I wish for adventure and to see the wonders beyond our village." Each word poured from him, unearthing dreams he had buried beneath layers of uncertainty. The shadows writhed, their whispers morphing into angry howls. "Foolish children, your wishes mean nothing. They will be swallowed by the void." But the keeper, undeterred, shouted with fervor, "We are not alone. We carry the wishes of many, the lost hopes of those who have forgotten how to dream." In response, a soft luminescence began to spread from the base of the glowing petals, swirling around them like a protective cocoon. The shadows faltered, retreating but not vanquished, as the trio felt the warmth of their collective wishes weaving a shield against the encroaching darkness. "Together, we can make the light grow," Elara urged, her heart racing with newfound courage. "What do you wish for?" The keeper's eyes twinkled as she added, "Do not forget the wishes of those who came before us, the dreams of the guardians, the hopes of the forgotten children." With each shared wish, the brightness surged, like a dawn breaking over a long, dark night. One by one they spoke the names of those they loved, each name a thread, weaving into the tapestry of light. "My mother wishes for peace," Elara whispered, her voice wavering. "My father wishes to find joy in the simplest things," Eli added, tears glimmering in his eyes. As the last words left their lips, the shadows recoiled, howling in agony, as the light enveloped them. In that moment, a realization struck. This journey was not merely about rescuing the guardian. It was about rekindling the flame of hope within themselves and those around them. The path before them widened, revealing a clearing bathed in a warm, golden glow. At its center stood a magnificent tree, its trunk gnarled yet majestic, its branches stretching toward the heavens, the leaves sparkling like stars. Against the twilight sky, "The tree of wishes," the keeper breathed, awestruck. "This is where dreams are nurtured. Here we can gather the wishes of those still adrift in the darkness." But as they approached, a figure cloaked in shadow materialized, its form obscured by the murk. "What do you seek, intruders?" it hissed, its voice a rasping whisper that sent shivers down their spines. "Do you truly believe you can awaken the wishes of the lost?" Eli stepped forward, bold yet cautious. "We believe in the power of dreams and the light they can bring," he declared, his heart racing, filled with a blend of fear and defiance. "We wish to free the guardian and restore the light to those who have lost their way." The hooded figure chuckled, a sound that chilled their bones. "Then prepare to face the shadows within yourselves, for only when you confront your deepest fears will you find the strength to claim the light." A swirling vortex of darkness erupted around them, and the trio braced themselves, the warmth of their wishes flickering like a candle caught in the storm. They stood united, a beacon of hope, ready to face whatever trials awaited them, and to reclaim the light that had been stolen from the guardian and from their own hearts.